Welcome back to Rome. The Senate and the People. Let's play. Have I read this? I think I did. Yes, I did. Right. So from now on, we're just gonna skip through time. Just don't even know. Right. Let's see what happens here. Banquet in Palatine Gardens. This manibus. The feast of Veralia was celebrated yesterday, publicly and in private. Our most fortunate and most powerful emperor Septimius Severus, accompanied by his wife Julia, Augusta, his valiant sons Antoninus, Augustus, and Geta Caesar, and a huge crowd of people visited the mausoleum of the defied Hadrian, paying homage to his defied ancestors. His father, I don't even know how you say this word, but I just say defied. So let's just stick with that. Marcus and his late brother Commodus, upon the performance of sacrifices and libations to the Divi, the imperial family presided in the Palatine Gardens over the festive banquet with 300 distinguished guests in attendance, and the customary grain dole has been distributed among the needy. A stranger at home, not usually one for festivals, but lately I've been feeling at loose ends. The festival of the Charistia is a time to renew family ties and settle quarrels, so I thought I'd give it a try. I went to see my father, hoping for a family meal and a joint offering to the family heirs. Was told by a slave that he had gone to stay with friends in the country. The slave asked who I was. So the slave didn't know his name. It's been so long that he was home. This is also a bit of a weird one. You would think here, I went to see home, hoping for a family meal and a joint. But that's only a joint offering and the blah blah blah. And then there was this where he says, was told by a slave that he had gone to stay with friends. A step up the ladder, I threw coins into the Lacus Curtius, wishing for the emperor's good health. I have decided that I might petition him for the appointment to prefect of grain supply. Then, in honor of the Charistia, I patched up my quarrel with Pomponia and invited her family to Sina to celebrate the festival. I drank much wine. I made offerings to the heirs. I'm just thinking here. So good things here. Fondest brothers. It is widely known that this year's consuls, Antoninus, Augustus, and Geta Caesar, sons of our most fortunate and most powerful emperor Septimius Severus, offer a beautiful example their brotherly love and devotion for posterity. I don't even know what that is. I know prosperity, but posterity? In the true spirit of Charistia, they inaugurated yesterday the meeting of the Senate with an exchange of the affectionate kiss. They made a proposal in honor to honor their august parents by another day of gladiatorial games at the Senate's expense, which the conscript fathers gladly and immediately ratified before they could proceed to business as usual. No walking for me. I tried to go out to the Lupercal cave, but I didn't have the coin that would shoot the litter attendant. Only a silver coin bearing the likeness of the current emperor is accepted. No way to run a business. So yeah, she didn't go because she didn't want to walk. Well, not unusual, but usual practice. I met with the winner bidder on the new building. He has built other in Soleil. Most have construction errors. He gave me my usual extra fee as chief engineer. Maybe I should allocate this to my discretionary fund. Oh no. Missed one. VS. Let's see. Fifth. This is fifth, right? Let's see, a sixth, fifth, fourth, LX. The solution. In the Lacus Curtius, while in the forum, I found the correct coins for the litter ride to the Lupercal cave. Go into the Lacus Curtius on the north side of the Basilica Julia and pick up the silver coin with the image of Emperor Septimius Severus on it. To come out, leave through the rostra or west end of the passage. Yeah, we already know that. A foray into the night. I had to sneak back to my insula to retrieve a wood carving, all I have left of my family. My apartment had already been rented out. I crept softly and took what was mine, along with a lump of bacon that was left out. Well, green bacon. When I returned to my underground lair, it felt more like home than the dingy apartment at the insula ever had. I slept soundly. What's this picture even supposed to mean? The solution. So yeah, I think we've done this one. I found a Severus coin in the Lacus Curtius and gave it to the litter bearers on the Palatine staircase. I rode to the Lupercal cave where I replaced 6 stone panels. Romans know the story well. Twins in the Tiber, the she-wolf, the brothers, the attack Remus killed, and Remulus raising the standards of Rome. We've already done this. I'm pretty sure we've done that correctly, otherwise we wouldn't have gotten the stuff. But I think also it would be good that we've done that before it comes up here in the story, or before that the Calamitis was there destroying the altar. Right? Because I don't know, if it was destroyed, then I don't think we could do it, right? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing you could do up to this point. I don't know. Night visions. I fell into a weak trance, or was it a cubinal wine? Well, the image of my mother hovered above me. She pointed to the lit candles and whispered the names of stars. My father appeared. Coins dripped through his fingers and camels floated about his head. He spoke in 3 languages at once, as if he was buying and selling a caravan of goods to himself. Well, we have to go to a certain place in a certain time, I think. And like last episode, I think I was trying to go right over here. I just failed miserably. Like you could go up here, and you can go up the arch, have a nice view. But then if you go down again, you come back out. You could also go the other way. And this is the road that leads to the... oh, no, that's not it. This leads to the well, I believe. I think this is also where the Xanthus is hiding right now. I think that was the picture. I'm getting turned around, that's stupid. Let's just go straight ahead. This might have been like the picture. I don't know. There was a chair as well. This supposed to be a chair and a table. Nah, it doesn't look the same. But there are beds here, and maybe they're also used by the virgins, Vestal virgins. So this is the well. Don't think these coins are any good though. But I think I've read like multiple times already, even more than 2 times, that people were throwing money in the well. Also multiple times that people didn't have money for the ride of the litter guy. But we need to be right over someplace. Where is that? I think it's over here. It says it right over here. ID March. Basically some kind of festival, we have to do stuff. Which is very close by. Let's see, we've read this. The solution, yeah. The solution. Did I read this as well? Yes, I read that as well. Third, LV. That's a lot to read. The horse races. I attended the Equirria out on the field of Mars. Last year it had to be held on the Celian Hill because the field was flooded. It seemed as if all of Rome came out this year. The sun shone brightly on the horses as they raced. Nice. An epiphany. I saw a man today at the Equirria. The sun blazed. The horses galloped in a sweat towards the finish line. All of Rome was out at the field of Mars, but all I saw was this one man, and as I looked upon this man, this stranger, I had feelings from long ago, sensations of warmth and freedom, and joyful abandon reminiscent of my childhood summers at the villa at Baiae? A glorious day. I attended the races. 3 of Rome's bravest were thrown from their horses. I cheered. Sometimes Romans do respect their horses when they are not hurling them into chasms. I guess Sybil didn't even went to the races. A day in the sun. I can't help thinking about the strange wood carving the new tenants in Xanthus's apartment claimed Xanthus left behind. I left it with them in case he returned. It did not look to be fabricated in a Roman or Greek style. If it did belong to Sanctus, where did he get it? I attended the Equeria on the Campus Martius. Sanctus had said he would go with me. It was a beautiful day and a relaxing day nevertheless. Where did Sanctus come from? And where has he gone to? I'm pretty sure they've told Gordian that he was going to Greece because his brother died. Let's see over here. Let's go back. I had to sneak back in to my insulet to retrieve a wood carving. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say where he got it from. Oh! Oh, oh, oh. Oh. I have to go real slow now. Let's go ahead and go back one step. So let's read about the S.P.Q.R. thing. Emperor at the races. The horse race on the Campus Martius at this year's Equeria made a truly splendid spectacle. The youth of Rome is Rome's future, and so brilliant display of valor testifies that our future is secure. Later in the day, the green and the blue strove to win in a chariot competition, most enthusiastically cheered by the public. That the prize for victory went to Hapax, the leader of the green team, does not surprise. The superior skill of this master charioteer deservedly earned him long-time favor with our most fortunate and most powerful emperor, Septimius Severus, and his valiant son, consul Antoninus Augustus. Let's see. There's nothing else to read. Just Sybil as well. Did Sybil even go to the races then?
My lady has true powers. She senses the presence of an avenger in Rome who came to us through his patron, Cornelius. This young apprentice will save Rome from destruction. This young apprentice will save Rome from calamitous.
Yes, indeed. So let's read about Lucius now. Go to war. Today in the calendar of Martius, the first day of the month and the beginning of the festival of Mars that takes up most of the month, the Salian priest paraded through the streets with the shields of Mars, and it was difficult to get across town. I found Gordian at a construction site south of the Temple of Saturn. From the parchment I could see he had drawn and redrawn the temple facade at least 10 times. The Horse of Rome. Today is the new year according to our old beliefs. The emperor, acting as Pontifex Maximus, extinguished the sacred flame of Vesta last night, and today I relight it in a solemn ceremony. I use a special glass lens, and we keep in the storeroom of the house of the vessels. I take the lens across the courtyard to the temple of Vesta and perform the relighting. Like, let's actually go here. Right? No? We need to wait another day, maybe another couple of days. But these doors should be opening here. Like, it's kind of weird, but most of the month of March, this festival is happening here, so. Praise to Mars Victor. As it becomes on the calends of this month, the Salian priests yesterday performed their ancient dance in honor of Mars Victor, with a supreme efficacy without even hampering the flow of traffic on the Via Sacra. Well, some other people might have different beliefs on that one. Another proof of supreme competence displayed by the authorities. This was preceded by the ceremony to remind us of the ancestral customs when the calends of Martius signified the beginning of New Year, until the deified Julius changed it to the calends of January at midnight, or Emperor and Pontifex Maximus Septimius Severus masterfully quenched the sacred fire of Vesta, which was later relit by the Vestalis Maxima Verania, which is basically Verania. Rituals of the New Year. After the sacred flame was lit, smoke arose out of the dome, signifying all was well in Rome. Then the other vessels and I gathered fresh laurel from the trees in front of the chapel of Mars, and wreathed the temple of Vesta. In honor of the Matronalia, I offered prayers to Juno and her son Mars. I watched husbands giving presents to their wives. Will I ever be given a gift by a man I call husband? She's really getting thirsty. Knowledge. I sit in my lair, reviewing my notes and sketches. I am now familiar with the underground passages of the city. From my work at the Tabularium, I also know of much that most Romans don't know. The execution chamber, sliding marble sections in the basilicas, secret areas in the arches, and every nook and cranny Gordian shared with me. All of Rome is etched on my mind, as if it were a wax tablet. So what's this one? That was an X, right? I don't even know what this is supposed to mean. Probably... it's probably some kind of a map. Not a job for Crixus. Hired a special messenger to take my petition for an audience to the Emperor. If that bearded military fool doesn't agree to see me, I'll have to come up with a plan beta. He has to see me. Nope, not yet. Not yet. I mean, we can check the maps here. Maybe there is something that resembles this drawing of Xanthus. I don't know though, it seems weird. Is it like this one? This thing? This thing and this thing and these pillars, and then the X is over here. But this is the well. It must be this way, right? It's not this. should be over here then. Or like over here, something like that. So it should be like in front of the second pillar. Something like that. Between first, second pillar. But there's here pillars over here. I mean, it's hard to see in this game because it's not like a 3D view. We're basically just... There's also nothing lighting up here for our characters to say. Wait. Is it these pillars? This is a pillar, right? This is a pillar. This is one. One, two, three. I don't know. It could be this place, but then underground. Like, who knows? So only Varania and Gordian has something to say here. But Gordian probably has something to say here about this temple right now that we're looking at. No, this is about the Lacus Curtius. The Lacus Curtius is found on the south side of the forum. It consists of a well and a series of altars within a low wall. The plan is curious, a trapezoid with a bent side and one corner cut off. The well is lined in tufa stone and is quite deep, since it marks the spot of the earlier sacred abyss. People still throw gifts into it. Every few months I have to organize a cleanup team which descends into the well. I had a special hoisting machine built in oak for this purpose. People actually volunteer for the job, knowing the possibility of finding valuable coins and artifacts. There are legends of secret connections to the Cloaca Maxima and other tunnels beneath the forum. So this is about the well thingy. That's not what the axe is, right? Briannia is talking about the rostra. To commemorate Rome's first naval victory in the wars with Carthage, the commanders cut off the prows from the enemy ships, which looked like the beaks of the birds and are called the rostra, and secured them onto the speaker's platform on the forum. Over the centuries, many great leaders and orators climbed those steps to address the Roman people. Septimius Severus has been rearranging the rostra so that speakers can go to the platform directly from the triumphal arch he recently built. There is a doorway on the north side of the rostra which leads to the Cornicula tunnels, which lie under the forum. Right, so this is the doorway that we just went in the beginning of the episode. Leads to the tunnels that lie under the forum. I have heard stories that the Vestal Virgins cannot repeat. Meh, who knows? Pretty much nothing happens here, so mystery unsolved? Not solved? Right, no problem. We'll just go to the next day. Navigium Isidis. I traveled to the port of Ostia today for the festival of the Isis ship. The harbor was a hive of activity. Carpenters, sailmakers, Sakari carrying loads on their backs, a model of a ship with sails embroidered with good wishes for successful voyages and loaded with offerings was launched out to sea to open the way for safe sailing for all. Oh, how I long to see. Let's see. Now? No. A bad death. Gordian let me work with him on the construction of the execution chamber used to punish errant vestals. It is a complex device that looks up an underground cavern so that there is no escape. Gordian said he knew the Vestalis Maxima well. I wonder how he can associate with her, knowing that he built the device that could, if she strayed, be her end. Right? A job for Criss. A new shipment of goods from the east arrives in Ostia tomorrow. Send Criss to purchase the usual potions and anything new that catches his eye for special occasions. There's something special from Dura Europus I want him to look for. Doesn't say what. No way. Oh no. Let's read this first. Sister to sister. Vulvia and I walked and talked along the Via Nova. She has so many questions and I simply answered them by rote. What is below the surface is too dangerous to examine or to share. We stood on the steps from the Via Nova looking down on the dome of the temple. Smoke whispered out and I felt safe. I could see parts of the alignment mechanism. Cornelius installed on top of the dome to help us in the relighting of the sacred flame. Pitatis exemplum. To commemorate the 25th anniversary of the day when his beloved and deified father Marcus Aurelius assumed power, our first fortunate and most powerful emperor Septimius Severus is expected in person to perform sacrifice tomorrow morning at the temple of Antoninus and Faustina. Since there will predictably take place a huge turnout of the law-abiding citizens to admire the act, all precautionary measures are taken to ensure that the father of the fatherland could conduct the noble ritual in honor of his own father, who is now the benevolent residence of Olympus with his customary and consummate grace. Is that like one whole sentence? You gotta be kidding with me here. Lucius, on this date, today, the day before the nuns of Martius, is the anniversary of the accession to the purple of the great Marcus Aurelius. Severus fancies himself a son of Marcus Aurelius and a brother to his unwealthy son Commodus. This is fiction, but Severus likes to play it up. He sacrificed an ox this morning to the deified Marcus Aurelius. He actually slit the beast's throat himself. He made a bloody mess of it. For the Emperor. I ventured out just as the sun was going down. I passed the Ark of Severus and was struck for the first time by the arrogance of the edifice. The barbarian tribes that Severus conquered are depicted on the top of the arch. These are not victories. These are massacres of innocents. I carry out my plans to destroy Rome in honor of the conqueror. I do this deed for the emperor himself. For the emperor. I was walking by the Arch of Severus when I was struck with Jupiter's thunderbolt of an idea. I will build an edifice in honor of Severus himself. I will dedicate my building to the guardian spirit of the emperor, Genius Augusti. Perhaps this will pave the way for my appointment to prefect of grain, which will please Pomponia enough to rid her of the idea of offering up Stella to the order of the Vestals. Bing boom. There's literally nothing happening this day. Idea of March. Another innocent slaughtered. The Acta Diurna reported that a man was executed as the culprit who interrupted the sacrifice at the Lupercal caves last month. The poor man, almost a boy really, was put in a sack with a dog, a cat and a snake. The bag was tied close and then tossed into the river. The water roiled up as the boy and the animals struggled against each other. My mind spins imagining the agonizing death the boy suffered for a crime he did not commit. Yeah, because Sanctus was the one who did it. An invitation. Send word to the palace of my plans for the new building. Was immediately granted an interview with the emperor the day after tomorrow. Today is 8 days before the Ides. Tomorrow is 7 days before the Ides. And the next day is 6 days before the Ides. What logic? I will meet with the emperor on that day. Right. Good guy. My Acta Diurna didn't say about the innocent being slaughtered. But hey. Lucius. A past failure. The priest again held a procession in the shields of Mars. Every time they bring out these blasted shields, I am reminded of my utter incompetence during my brief tenure in the military. Usually, a young boy has to be watched in the army in case he succumbs to the temptation of gratuitous cruelty or pillaging. There were no worries about me. I never liked our military life. I've always preferred a roof over my head to sleeping under the hides in the leather tents found in the army encampments. An audience with the emperor. I joined Severus on his afternoon walk and talk through the palace gardens. He accepted my idea of dedicating my building to his guardian spirit. I talked of the buildings of the Forum, especially the Ark of Severus. He spoke of his military campaigns and his horses. I mentioned my trip to Ostia, which I believe made him smile knowingly, as if he knew my wish to become the prefect of grain who oversees the entire port. That's fine. The case. I read through my case notes so far. If it was Calamidas who struck at the Lupercal cave, why would he commit what is merely a symbolic act? It's not like the Empire will collapse because an altar was damaged during a sacrificial rite. Sybil was probably just capitalizing on the Palatine chaos, or she's useless. But Gordian seems a viable avenue to pursue. He mentioned a stranger when I last spoke to him. Who could he be? Bad weather. The rain continued. I went out to make sure the sacred flame was lit. Woe to the vessels on duty if the flame goes out. She is beaten with rods until the blood runs from her body. When I got to the temple, I found the panel that houses the alignment controls for the lenses open to the raging skies. I closed it up and inspected the rest of the foundation of the temple. A new disguise. I went to a barber today to transform my appearance. I played the Roman dandy looking for a change. The barber was reluctant to dye my red hair to black, but I showed him the color of my sesterces and he relented. He also curled my hair and trimmed the modest beard I have begun to grow. When I looked at the finished product in the mirror, I almost didn't recognize myself. My green eyes and broad shoulders gave me away though.
I am Sybil. Beware the Ides of March. The flame will die in the hearth of Rome. Vesta will abandon us, and we will be alone, in the dark, at the mercy of the fates.
Oh no. Foreshadowing. Sybil actually making some predictions that are gonna come true. Maybe. Pomponia is pleased. At Sina, I related my walk and talk with the Emperor. Pomponia was displeased that I had kept it from her for 3 days, but I soon won her over with the details. How he looked, what we talked about, if he mentioned an appointment. In between bites of vegetable pie, I told her everything. She will have much to relate to the woman's bath tomorrow. Right, I don't think it's open yet. I think what's gonna happen here is that there's gonna be a tragedy. Xanthus or Calamidas is gonna douse the flame of the Vestal Virgins thingies, and we're gonna relight it, and nobody's gonna notice. I think. But yeah, Ferrani is also talking here about the panel and the alignment control. We're gonna see some of that, I think. So get hyped for exciting gameplay in this game. Thanks for watching.